So the Madden franchise has been in severe decline the past few years in terms of quality and enjoyment, and there's more people raging out during the game. A lot of people will say it's been more the past decade or even longer that it's been declining slowly, and I think there's a lot of factors that are contributing to that. But in the past several Maddens, and now specifically in Madden 20, there are two big issues that I think EA needs to address first and foremost so they can begin to right the ship and get Madden back on the right track to being a good quality video game again. What's up guys, my name is Wizard of Waz, and if you are new to the channel, I make Madden content here, mostly geared towards most of the time I usually do coin making methods, strategies, just general gameplay, things like that. So if you do enjoy the content and you enjoy this video, make sure you leave a like and consider hitting that sub button as well. I also do stream on Twitch several days a week, so if you enjoy my content here, consider hitting that link down below. Leave it a follow and come check me out, hang out in the chat room there. So when I was deciding to put this video together, I was actually going to put predictions and kind of a wish list for what we might get in Madden 21, and I probably will make that video still. Before I make that video though, I wanted to do this one to address two of the issues that I really think are plaguing Madden and the whole franchise, and I think there are two things that EA could work towards correcting. One of them is going to be a little bit easier to correct in Madden 21. One of them is going to take some time and money, which makes me think that they probably won't do it, but it's probably the bigger issue of the two, so they should fix it. So we'll see. I didn't want this to just become an EA hate video. You could hate on EA all day long, but at the end of the day, EA is a company and their first and foremost objective is to make money. A lot of people think the issues in the game are the microtransactions, and I'm specifically talking about Madden Ultimate Team here, and that is an issue because people will spend $100 and not even be guaranteed a good card anymore. It used to be back in the day, Madden Ultimate Team, you didn't have to spend a dime and you could have one of the most competitive teams. You would just have to grind a lot. You can still grind a lot and compete, but it's a lot harder. I've spent maybe $40 on my team and I have almost a 97 overall right now. The top tier teams, at least 898 overall. I think there may be some that are not, I don't know if there's any 99 overall, but the point is you have to spend a little bit of money to be in that top tier of teams. And yes, while that is an issue and it is EA just being greedy, I don't think that's one of the main issues because again, that's kind of what their job is, to make money. Really, the two issues I want to talk about though, focus on gameplay, because really in any game for me, and I feel like for most people, gameplay is the most important thing. Yeah, if they look nice, that's great. Good aesthetics, good sound, you know, good whatever, good connectivity, which of course EA doesn't have. All those things are very nice and important. But I think when it comes down to it, if the gameplay is good, it's going to be a good game. There'll always be things you can improve on, but the best games year in, year out are the ones with the best gameplay. You know, if they have good visuals, it's just a bonus, but that's just a bonus for me. The most important thing for me is gameplay. So if EA can fix these two issues I'm about to talk about, then I think it will make the game a lot better overall, even if they still have other issues like the microtransactions and, you know, things like that, pack odds, whatever. The first one that I want to talk about is something that EA should be able to easily fix in Madden 21. They've got a lot of community feedback about it, and that is just abilities and X factors. Now, abilities and X factors I think were a really good idea because the idea was to elevate several players on your team, the really good players, and elevate them above the rest and make them, you know, stand out from the rest. The problem is I don't think abilities are doing that. I think they're just covering up some of the bullcrap mechanics in the game. For example, with mobile quarterbacks, right? You've got evasive and escape artist is the big one, of course. Now, you've got Lamar Jackson and let's say Drew Brees in the backfield, right? Lamar Jackson is significantly faster than Drew Brees. They both move like they're snails in the backfield, like regardless of their speed, unless you have you know, escape artist or fast break if you're doing a designed run or anything like that. But it's ridiculous that you have to do that. Lamar Jackson should move around in the backfield much better than Drew Brees. It's kind of ridiculous. So if you have to put escape artist on him, which it's a necessity on a mobile quarterback. The only reason you would use a mobile quarterback is if you want to run with them. So why would you not have escape artist on him? But you shouldn't have to put escape artist on him. Like if escape artist was an ability, it should be an additional little boost of speed and not just, you know, top speed in the backfield like it does. Because if Aaron Rodgers gets escape artist, he's the same speed as Lamar Jackson in the backfield. And once they cross the line of scrimmage, then, you know, that's fine. But my point is, Lamar Jackson should be faster than Aaron Rodgers everywhere on the field. It doesn't matter, and he's just a sloth in the backfield. And I know that the ability is just to cover up the fact that they just haven't fixed that mechanic where quarterbacks move around in the backfield like they're just standing still. It's ridiculous, and they need to fix it. They shouldn't just move at their top speed when they're past line of scrimmage. That doesn't make any sense. All of the defensive backs abilities are good. Zoned out, you know, pick artist, tip drill, anything like that, they're all good, and they help them react better to the ball. But those kinds of abilities are really just to cover up the awful play recognition that offensive and defensive players have. So how many times has it happened where you've thrown the ball, it's tipped off someone's hands, and unless there's a ability person or an X factor person around, the ball just, you know, bounces off a few more people and falls to the ground. The offensive players are terrible about it, right? Because the offensive players, I don't know. It's like once the ball hits their hands, If they don't catch it, it's like it doesn't exist most of the time. Except for in a clip like this one. Let me show you this right here.
What's most upsetting is
this is crazy.
They took my water bottle. Oh wait, there it is.
No freaking way!
The Geico Insurance Agency could help keep your
Holy crap!
like if your roommate is only worried about her $2.
Now, how does that happen? In a game like Madden, that's supposed to be a realistic sim of football. Obviously, it's a video game. Some things will happen. But things like that happen all the time. And then you have things like tip drill, which you put on and they make the most unrealistic interceptions in the world. It's ridiculous. It's not realistic. I don't like the abilities in the game. I did at the beginning of the year. I really dislike the automatic X factor that they did on the NFL 100 players, and I know why they did it to kind of set them apart. Eric Dickerson was broken for weeks. Everybody knows that. Breaking the first tackle automatically is broken. Randy Moss, they kept it in the game because it's not completely broken. He only gets it for one play, but it's basically a free 50 yards unless you defend it really, really well. People pull that out in crucial moments in the game when you're not paying attention. That shouldn't be a thing. And the fact that, like, you know, if they catch 3 catches in a row, they get an X factor blowing up, or the quarterback throws it deep. That's stupid. That doesn't just make any sense. It's lazy mechanics, in my opinion. It covers up issues in the game. I don't like it. I hope they do away with it in Madden 21. A ball that was tipped off someone that's just floating in the air for 5 seconds shouldn't just fall to the ground with no one even trying to die for it. It's stupid. It's bad mechanics. EA needs to fix that first and foremost. So that was number 1, and I think that is the easiest thing that EA can fix. It's just something that they have to take out of the game, and I know that they always put that stuff in there just to be like, oh, we got a new mechanic and it sells, it's good for marketing. Of course, I know that. But still. Number 2 is very important. I think it's more important than the abilities, but it's not going to happen in Madden 21, unfortunately. It'll probably be on my wish list because if it did, it'd be great, but there's no way. It's not going to happen. And that is the Frostbite engine that Madden currently runs on. Now, they started running the Frostbite engine in Madden 18, and then it was in 19 and now in 20 as well. The reason the EA uses Frostbite in games like Madden and FIFA is because they purchased DICE years and years ago, and DICE's gaming engine was Frostbite. So EA decided to implement it into all of their games. I don't know if it's in all of their games now, but it is in the majority of them. And the Frostbite engine was developed for first-person shooting games because that's what DICE primarily made, and it works very, very well. For games like Battlefield, it does very well. That's what it's made for. It looks very nice. It handles very well with the mechanics and everything. The Frostbite engine was not developed to run games like Madden or like Anthem that tanked completely hard because they had to work with this engine that wasn't developed for their game. Now, when EA first announced that the Frostbite engine was going to be used for Madden 18, and it was, doing all that marketing and everything, everyone was really excited because they thought it was going to be really good. Everyone knew that the Frostbite engine worked with Battlefield really well, but it hadn't been tested yet on any sports games, and there's a reason for that. It's not meant for that. The biggest issue with Madden 20, 19, and 18 was the mechanics. There's just bad mechanics. The animations are terrible. You get, not that they don't work. If you're a defensive lineman and you block an offensive lineman, then yes, it works. You'll toss them off the side and everything. But the animations rule the game. There's times in the game where a player will be going to sack a quarterback, right? The quarterback should absolutely get this ball off. There's no way that they shouldn't get the ball off because the defender hasn't even touched them. Their arm's back here. They're ready to throw. They're coming forward, and the defender goes in for the sack animation. If they get that sack animation, it basically overrides the quarterback's throwing animation and they take the sack. Even if the ball is like about to leave their hands, it doesn't matter. It will override it. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's an issue. It's a bug in the game and it shouldn't happen. Things like that are because of the Frostbite engine, because it's not meant to run sports games. All the weird mechanics, all the weird clipping and things like that can be attributed to the Frostbite engine. EA needs to either develop an entirely new engine, which will cost time and money, which is why they're not going to do it because they don't care if the gameplay's bad. To be honest, people are still spending money on the game because people want to play football. They want to play football games. It's really the only one out there right now because the NFL, signed their contract with EA. They're the only people that are allowed to make NFL games. Maybe there'll be an XFL game or something that gives them a run for their money, but we don't hold your breath on that. So they either need to develop their own that works well with their sports games like Madden or FIFA, which probably isn't going to happen, or they need to revert back to an old tried and true one like Ignite that they used before Frostbite that we know works well and revamp that one and make it better. Because honestly, the mechanics were better 4 or 5 years ago. They're worse now. They're bad. They're going to continue to be bad in 21. They're not going to fix these bugs. From everything that I've read from articles and everything, it is very difficult to fix even a simple bug. So instead of actually fixing the bug, they just kind of work around the bug and put more crap on top, like abilities, to kind of cover up that bug. So my 2 points of the abilities and X factors and the Frostbite engine go hand in hand because it's all gameplay. If the game's mechanics work the way that they should, you shouldn't have to put all that fluff in there to cover up the issues. But yeah, that's definitely not going to happen for Madden 21 because Madden 21's already pretty much done. We're here in what, March? Yeah, it's not going to happen. Maybe Madden 22, maybe Madden 23, we'll see. That is what needs to happen though to fix all these ridiculous gameplay mechanics. So I hope that video wasn't too much of a just, oh, I hate EA, they need to do this and that better, because it wasn't meant to be that. Yeah, EA has a lot of things they can work on, so do a lot of companies, you know? Their main purpose is to make money at the end of the day. I don't really blame them very much for taking advantage of the MUT market where you buy packs to stay ahead. Is it sleazy? Is it greedy? Yes, but they're a massive multi-billion-dollar corporation, so can you really blame them at the end of the day? If you agree, disagree, or maybe have an additional point you want to add, totally fine. Just put it down in the comments below and I will answer it as soon as I'm able to. So my past couple of videos, I've forgotten to shout out people who supported my previous video, which I normally do. So let me add that here. I didn't forget it this time. The Midnight Hayabusa at Midnight Hayabusa. He is one of my moderators in the Discord down below. You should join that if you want to talk Madden at any time. Rose Lynn, Eagles UK at UK_risk. And then this guy, he did DM me and tell me how to pronounce his name correctly. So thank you for that. Shevchenko at Oscar_Ruiz. KingGRessshhh at KingGRessshhh24. Kyce at Kyce05. Jay Adams at Trippy Duck Songs, Nick at SCF Dab, and Maui Takeo at Maui_Takeo. Thank you guys so much for the support as always. That's going to do it for me on this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like and subscribe as well if you want to see more content in the future. Also, the link to my Twitch stream is in the description down below. If you're interested in hanging out in the chat, talking Madden, watching me play some Madden, or maybe some other games which I'm looking into doing in the future, make sure you do that down below and hit me with a follow. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you on the next one. Let's go. Should have ran Dion back there. Damn. No way. No! Frazzy. I gotta do it, man.
EA Sports.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. I had to do it to you.